Hey, what's going on, guys? So, if you guys watched we'll just get right into it here. If you guys watched the morning video this morning, we kind of hit it nail on the head for the most part. Besides, I thought maybe we might get some kind of 50% down to like 826 here. Give us this lower daily FVG. We got a daily order block sitting right here. Doesn't mean we can't, right? I mean, just because we are still reacting out of this daily FVG does not mean we can't come back down here and fill this, because leaving imbalances down here is usually never a good thing. If you look back, we usually always come back and fill daily FVGs. Even this one here, right? Like, we had this one all the way down here, and guess where we bounced on this last big dip. Daily FVG had to be filled. So I think it's possible we could come back. Otherwise, we maybe go to all-time highs and then come back and fill it. And then guess what? We're still in this daily chop range here. But as long as we can find good trades, it really doesn't matter. But I mentioned, even if we get a long out of this daily, we start bouncing here. We can still find a long position, and that's exactly what we did today, because we don't want to short inside this. Inside this daily FEG. You can. I mean, there's plenty of good setups at times. Just the higher time frame order flow is going against you, right? That's really it for the daily. You see, we dipped into it. The big thing is we closed back out of it. So it's not like we closed inside of it. If we closed inside of it, it's a little more of a bearish sign that we go back down. But you see, we're going to close above it. So we're going on to the 4-hour chart here. You see the same thing. We did leave a 4-hour untapped. I thought we could have came down a little bit lower here. Kind of called this out too, because why? We had 4-hour FEG down here, kind of combined with this 4-hour order block. But you see, we didn't really get down there. Does not mean that we don't. We could end up getting a 4-hour order block here if we close underneath this candle. This turns into an order block, and you could get something like boom, boom, boom. And maybe if we go down to this 4-hour breaker, and then this is down there where that daily fair value gap sits as well. So far, Tuesday high of week is in play. Like I said, we'll see what the London and Asia session gives us tonight. So this morning on the AM video, I kind of mentioned what I mentioned that this was a possibility. We had all this accumulation, right? We had some of afternoon PM yesterday. Remember yesterday I mentioned we should get up into this 15. That would be our bias probably going into overnight and this morning, and you see what happens. Accumulation through London, through Asia, through London, New York, pre-markets here, and what happens? We end up manipulating down. We manipulate down into what? This is where that daily FVG sits. What I just showed you. Right here is where the daily FVG. We manipulate down, and then guess what? I said if we start inversing these 15 minutes, then that's going to confirm that this is our power of 3 or AMD, which is the same thing: accumulation, manipulation, distribution. I just don't like to use AMD as much because people can confuse it with the stock. So. What I'm seeing right here and what I'm going to be watching, but yeah, you see accumulation, manipulation down, distribute back to the highs of the accumulation phase. You see we're still rejecting this 15 minutes. So for us to go higher, I want to see us push over here, because you see, as I pointed out this morning, reject, no close above, and now we're sitting in this 15-minute as well. That we are rejecting. So I want to see both of these inverse to the upside to remain bullish. Otherwise, we could come back down and push that lower fair value gap. But the good thing is, time is on our side, right? I always say, we have 16 more hourly candles to go until we have to, start looking at the charts and possibly taking a trade. So we'll see what overnight gives us here. It should give us a little more bias. We do have jobless claims in the morning as well, so we'll see what that gives us. So we took one trade today, and I thought it was absolutely perfect. We caught 41 points off of this. So I was watching this, and I told you guys, like, we thought we might get a pump up here, and I'm like, it just doesn't make sense to get some kind of long here, because we got this. like we started to get a pump up here, and I'm like, this would be so much better if we dip a little bit lower. We have a 15-minute BPR sitting here. We have a 15-minute down here. We could have came all the way down here and tapped this, but we finally broke down from there, got our 50%, and that's where we capitalized. So I'll keep that 15-minute there so you can kind of see what happens. So well, I guess I just deleted it. Never mind. But you guys know we hit 50% here, right? We hit 50%, and we hit 50%. So whenever we hit 50%, you guys know I'm always looking for either a long or a short based on whether it's a bullish or a bearish 50%. Especially if we know the higher time frame draw is above us. And with today, we had equal highs sitting right here, and we had equal highs sitting right here. So we had two big areas. The good thing about these equal highs is they're far apart. Usually, if they're equal highs that are say these were equal highs, they don't mean nearly as much as equal highs that are far apart. So you see what equal highs. We get a 1 minute inverse here. So you see, this is the big thing. I think a lot of people might have stopped out here because we closed back below. But look what happens. We have so this is your 1 minute order block, right? This is the candle that sweeps. This was the 10-year bond auction data low. We sweep that low, and then we get a 1 minute a 1 minute order block here, right? This is the candle that sweeps the low. This candle closed over it. That's your order block right here. You see price comes down, digs into it, as well as when this candle was formed off of tapping this one, and then this candle close above. This makes this candle right here is your propulsion block. So to alleviate any confusion, we'll get rid of that. But you see the inverse closed under. We took a long position, I should say. Right here at 150. As soon as we closed over, we took a long position right at 150. We closed back under, but I wasn't convinced. It's not a very convincing close. As well as I seen we were still respecting, this order block and this propulsion block. The big thing I was really watching was this. When I preach order blocks, I always talk about, if the wick is bigger than the body, I use the wicks. If the body's bigger than the wicks, I use the body. Well, in this case, the body's much bigger. Look at the mean threshold, 50%, halfway, whatever you want to call it, of this propulsion block. Bodies dig into it. This body digs into the order block. So at this point, as well as this FEG or this inverse is only 152.75 to 149. This FEG is 3 points big, so I can afford to make my stop a little bit bigger with a close. So I move my stop to a close below mean threshold of this propulsion block, and I gave that out on stream as well. And I told him, I was like, if we close below this, then that's bearish. But as long as we're respecting it, I'm gonna hold this position. Oh, and I forgot to mention, we also had triple equal highs right here. So this is where we took our first position off. So we trimmed here. I believe we trimmed here, and then we obviously held a runner for these equal highs. We ended up selling right here at these equal highs first, because you get stuff like this. See how we didn't sweep the higher, and then you get all this mental capital you're wasting waiting on this come back up. I will say, if you took this 1 minute inverse as well, this looks very nice. So you get to close above, retest, right back to the second set of equal highs, and then obviously we just sit there and chop the rest of the day. I guess can't really say it was chopped. It was chopped in here, and then we got, obviously this was ARM earning and whatnot. But overall, PM or AM session was great today. AM session was great because of the accumulation, and then we got the beautiful distribution, all the way up, here, and then obviously the dip, and then the nice long up here to take out all the equal highs that were left after the morning dump, or the lunch dump. So with that's what I'm watching, guys, tonight. I'm watching that 15-minute. I'm watching this 15 right here. Should give us a good bias. If we keep rejecting it, and when we wake up and we're displacing down, and we're inversing through this 15-minute BPR, I'm going to be looking for this daily FVG down here, down at that 17,984 level. So with that, hope you guys have a great evening, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.